Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. This week we interview the new Ocean County Prosecutor, Bradley Billheimer, and his efforts to fight the opioid crisis. Also on this week's show, Governor Phil Murphy gives its budget address. We have reaction. And New Jersey and its garbage, another landfill, another controversy, and the fight to save an historic local theater. And now, our interview with Ocean County Prosecutor Bradley Billheimer. Ocean County has a new prosecutor, so what are his priorities? We'll find out. Bradley Billheimer is here. He is the new prosecutor of Ocean County, and he brought along Detective Joe Fastige. Thank you both for being here. So what are the priorities?
Thanks for having me, Larry. One of the top priorities has to be opioids. I took office in October. One of the first things I wanted to do is assess the office, assess the staff, try to strengthen relationships with the local police departments, but all the while knowing that opioids was going to have to be a top priority. So we're reviewing all of our programming and trying to figure out the best way to battle the opioid epidemic in Ocean County.
And the epidemic is across the country. It's not
It
just
is.
in Ocean County, but Ocean County used to be ground zero in New Jersey. You had a real problem. And over the past several years, you've done better than most of the state in battling it. So you're picking up where others have left off in battling this. So what is the next step? What's the next move?
The next step is what we call a multilateral approach. So we're working in 3 different areas, one of them being education. The statistics that we've reviewed show that there's a 28% chance if somebody uses before they're 15 years old, they're going to become users later in life. So we're trying to target those young kids in high school, even as young as middle school. We've had developed some programs to speak to them in the middle schools.
Speaking of young, that's where Detective Fastige comes in, right?
There he is.
Younger.
And what do you do exactly?
I work for the Manchester Police Department in New Jersey, obviously, and like the prosecutor said, this is statewide. And our chief, Lisa Parker, a couple years ago in 2016, she looked across the state. And of course we have intervention and enforcement, but she never found anything for prevention and educating students. So she took it upon herself to come up with this program called #NotEvenOnce. And we go through the high school in Manchester, and we teach seniors in high school all about the dangers of opiates. And it's a 3-day program. The first day, super relaxed. We're going in there, we're dressing down, we're not in uniforms, and really we take half of the class to get to know the kids. You know, I tell them all about my hobbies, my life. They see me as a person and not as a robotic cop.
Which is important because you don't want to preach to them because they're going to start rolling their eyes.
And we're not lecturing, we're not enforcing any class rules. That's the teacher's job. We're there to teach them all about opiates and make sure they know. So after we get to know each other, we hit them hard with the facts. And we found that a lot of students don't know the correlation between pills to heroin. They don't know that evolution, that once you get going with the pills, it comes pricey and you move on to heroin, which is much cheaper. The second day, we hit them with a jailhouse interview. And we have a live feed of the Ocean County Jail where someone's talking about their life story, about going, starting with pills, getting injured, and eventually being locked up and in Ocean County Jail. And the big thing that all the students love is that third day, we have a real-life drug recovery coach come in and teach them their life story.
It's amazing. It would seem like...
Seems logical, right?
Yeah, it seems like this should have been happening all along.
But it wasn't.
And the question is, what did it take? Why not?
Well, very early in my tenure, I was exposed to the Not Even Once program, and I couldn't believe all the work that Chief Parker did, that these young officers did. And my goal is to take that countywide and then statewide, and we're scheduling a meeting, hopefully, in the beginning of March with the health commissioner and try to make that happen. Education is the key component. It's one of the missing puzzle pieces, I feel like.
And that's got to be just part of the program, right? That's part of the opioid fight.
As part of our fight, we're also, my office, separate and apart from Manchester Police Department, has tailored a 40-minute presentation that we can go out and talk to kids. We also have something called Hidden in Plain Sight, where we educate the parents about where kids hide their drugs within the home. We're doing a lot of different things. The goal is to get out there and talk to as many people as we can so we can educate the parents and the children.
What are the numbers looking like in Ocean County now? Because I know, I will say to you that the national numbers came out. Every state almost every state went down
Right.
in overdoses. New Jersey went up.
We went up in Ocean
Except
County.
Ocean, you went up in Ocean
we went
County?
Up. We had 174 overdose deaths in 2016. In 2017, we had 187 in 2018. So we went up slightly. But our Narcan numbers are going up, and that's something we haven't talked about. Ocean County was at the forefront of Narcan deployments. That's basically a mist that you can spray into somebody's nose to reverse the effects of a heroin overdose.
So let me make sure I got this correctly, but it did go down, and then it must have gone back up.
It went up slightly, yes.
That has to be a concern, even
It's
if it went up
absolutely a
slightly.
concern. Absolutely, it's a concern.
Do you know what the reasoning is for that? Why?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons. And one of the reasons with the Not Even Once program, the way I like to use that hashtag also includes the ever-increasing presence of fentanyl. Right? Fentanyl has been introduced into all types of narcotics, mostly in heroin, but we're seeing it now in crystal meth. We're seeing it in all types of narcotics. Fentanyl is a deadly chemical-based drug that even 0.2 of a centimeter can kill you. You know, it essentially can kill you. And they're mixing it in it to cut the heroin. So my main goal with this Not Even Once program, and one of the reasons for it is you can't try this stuff once because you're playing Russian roulette and these kids don't understand the consequences. It can actually kill them. So getting back to the numbers went up. The Narcan deployments also went up. So that's also one of our concerns, is that if we're still Narcaning people, then we're not doing enough to educate them to make the right choices before
Because these
they
are the
become
same
addicted.
people? When you say they're Narcaning them, you say we haven't done enough to educate them. Are they the same people that you're Narcaning?
There's no data to tell who we're Narcaning. We have the numbers in total. So I know that the Narcan deployments have gone up from last year. And if you look at the trends, everything we're doing, not just education, treatment and addiction recovery, and the law enforcement component, which we haven't talked to, these trends are going to continue based on all the numbers and the data that we have till 2020. 2022 is somewhere where they're supposed to level off.
And Detective, before
That's
you got,
scary.
maybe even now, before you got involved with the program with the education, did you deal with Narcan? Did you deal with addicts on the street?
Yes, sir. I've Narcan quite a few, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. It's people use it sometimes as a clutch, just in case. But I've been on a couple calls where I've Narcan someone and they didn't come back.
Well, Detective, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for
having me.
your work, and good luck with the program. And we hope to have you back, especially if
course.
it does go statewide or to other counties. And we will continue our conversation with Ocean County Prosecutor Bradley Bilheimer when Jersey Matters continues.